OK, well, let's turn our attention to the US, where Donald Trump has unleashed on Kamala Harris and Tim Walz during a town hall moderated by Fox News. Here's a snippet.
This country will end up in a depression if she becomes president, like 1929. This will be a 1929 depression. She has no idea what the hell she's doing.
So there you go. Let's cross live to Washington, D.C., where I'm joined by the Australian's correspondent there, Adam Creighton. Adam, great to see you. It was a pretty friendly event, but it was another opportunity for Trump to blast Kamala, wasn't it?
Well, certainly it was a friendly event, but at least he's doing events. I mean, he's been doing so many interviews recently, and it was no surprise that it was held in Pennsylvania, because that state is just so crucial, really, to this election. I mean, it's a state that Democrats have won in every election since 1988, except for 2016, which, of course, was when Trump won. And pretty much whoever wins that state this time will probably win the presidential election. Now, the problem with the vice president is she has a huge shortcoming there, because it's a state that's fairly dependent on fracking, and she has said previously that she's opposed to fracking, so that's what Trump is really hammering her over.
Now, meanwhile, Harris's running mate Tim Walz, he's nursing a bruised ego after some of his relatives from Nebraska openly declared their support for Donald Trump. They've even posted a family photo wearing Trump shirts. Now, Charles Herbster posted the image of 8 family members, distant supposedly to the Minnesota governor, wearing matching tops which say Nebraska Walz's family for Trump. Adam, it's going to be an awkward Christmas if the Democrats lose, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. That is very embarrassing. Indeed, the photo was so embarrassing, people thought that it might have been fake, but it is apparently real. You know, what's funny about that is most of the media over here is all over the nieces and nephews of Donald Trump, who, of course, hate him. They're always saying that. But so far, they haven't been all over this photo, so they should be. And actually, it's worth pointing out, it's not just the Walzes. It's also Barack Obama's his older half-brother has also been tweeting that that he'll be supporting Trump. So a few issues with family members on the campaign.
What do they say? You can't choose your family. A new CNN poll has found that there's no clear favourite across all 6 battleground states, with Harris leading in Wisconsin and Michigan, Trump taking the advantage in Arizona, and voters split almost evenly in Georgia, Nevada and Pennsylvania. There's lots of polls saying all sorts of things. What's your read on the situation as it currently stands?
Yeah, well, the polls generally show that Kamala Harris is ahead by 1 or 2 percentage points, but that is just the margin of error. I mean, personally, I prefer to look at the betting markets. And if you look at those, Trump is actually slightly ahead. I mean, the average at the moment of the major 8 bookies in the US that offer odds on this, he's on 49.7% chance of winning, and she's on 49%. So still extremely close, but it's just important to point out that, you know, the betting markets move faster, and they're probably taken into account the Robert F. Kennedy effect, which some of those polls have not taken into account. Of course, he's dropped out and he's joined the Trump campaign. So, look, just extremely, extremely close with 2 months to go. I mean, it's really all down, I think, at this point to the debate on Tuesday night next week. That's going to be such an important event for both candidates.
All right, I want to ask you quickly about Republican former Representative Liz Cheney. She's just announced that she'll vote Democrat at the election. Have a listen.
Because of the danger that Donald Trump poses, not only am I not voting for Donald Trump, but I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
Well, that's nice, but of course, back in 2020, Liz Cheney was calling Kamala Harris a radical liberal who was further to the left than Bernie Sanders. Here she is.
In one fell swoop here, he has put somebody on the ticket whose voting record in the Senate is to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So I think that, you know, the American people are going to look at the substance of this. They're going to look at what she stood for in the past. They're going to look at what she said during the primary election. And it's very clear. She is a radical liberal.
OK, so you're allowed to change your mind, but what is going on there?
Well, she's probably auditioning for a cabinet spot, actually, I would say, if Kamala Harris wins. I mean, the vice president said recently that she would have a Republican in her cabinet, and I think Liz Cheney would be the perfect option for her. She's hated Trump for a very, very long time, so it was really no surprise that she's come out against him, and I don't think it's going to make any difference at all to the votes.
Adam, we've got about 30 seconds left. I just want to get one final thought. Obviously, the next big event is the debate. What have each candidate got to win and lose from that debate, just in 30 seconds?
Well, look, I think all the pressure is going to be on Donald Trump there, because the media is going to be very inclined here to say that he lost. So he really has to put in a sterling performance. He can't be too rude, but he can't be too soft. So I think he'd be very anxious about it. So, look, I think we're all going to be watching. It's going to be extraordinary TV. It
is absolutely going to be must-watch television. Adam Creighton, thanks so much for your time. It's always an absolute pleasure to speak with you.